Before today's episode, I wish to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nations, and recognise their continued connection to the beautiful land and sea. I'd also like to pay my respects to the elders past, present and emerging, and I extend this acknowledgement to the traditional owners of the land my listeners are on. Welcome to Ritual the Podcast, your cottage in the woods. A sacred space for the witches, the healers, the magical folk to meet and speak of wisdom, witchery, and old world magic, where people come to learn, to hear stories, to share secrets, and to be free to be their true selves. Welcome to Ritual.
Action.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Ritual. My name is Amy Harvey and it has been 4,000 years.
And 12 days.
16 hours.
Since the last podcast release.
This is Patrick.
Hello.
You may remember him for all his witty banter.
And being married to Amy as a husband, a life partner, and a friend.
How are you guys? Are you good?
Are you well?
It's been a while. But it's good.
It has been.
I was trying to think of when the last one was.
The best part is though, there's 17,000 episodes of Ritual with Amy Harvey out on the internet, and people have been listening and re-listening. And I'll tell you what,
the people have demanded.
The people of Algeria have spoken.
Yeah.
Here's a really
random
fact time with Ritual is that Amy's podcast was in the top 20 or 30 in Algeria on the iTunes charts for religion and spirituality for like months.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not sure.
Sorry,
if you're
I'm just changing the light.
If you're aware of this, but Algeria is 99% Muslim. So I literally picked the best lighting for us. And you've sifted through and gone from serial killer lighting to that warm one. So there you go. So to the people of Algeria, hello, welcome.
Thank you for your dedication and
support and all that.
The people of Algeria love me, and I love them.
They have spoken.
This is the way.
It is. It just is.
So the thing that's annoying me, I guess, is that my hair.
Are we griping? What are we doing?
My hair looks really frizzy in this camera, and I just want people to know there's actually not this frizzy in real life. It's from the rain.
It's not this frizzy in real life.
And so don't judge me if you happen to be from the frizz
police. Don't judge her.
Don't be judging.
Don't judge anyone. Don't judge a person yelling at their friend.
No.
Don't judge a frizzy-haired person. They could have been caught in rain.
And I was, actually.
And you would be unfairly judging them, thinking they've got a frizzy, freaky hairdo.
What?
And it's not actually true.
Well, sometimes it's true. But that's not the point. The point is, how are you, Patty?
Me?
How have you been? What's been happening since we last spoke?
I feel like it's been a war zone. No, there's been ups and downs. We've both been sick. You've been very sick.
Amy? I am coming. I hope. Oh,
for those that have seen the scene in Vikings where Bjorn Ironside is getting hit with arrows, that's been Amy over the last couple of months.
This has been my journey. Okay, this has been my journey in the last 2 months.
Yeah.
So I had a cut on my foot. I think it may have been a sandfly bite from when we were at the beach, because it just got worse and worse and worse. And I had to go to the doctor and they gave me antibiotics, which is fun. Then a week later, I started getting sick, which is very unusual for me.
It's quite.
And so then I got a sinus infection, went to the doctor, and I needed antibiotics.
Yeah.
A week later, I start coughing real bad. And I go to the doctor and I have bronchitis and they give me antibiotics. So I'm taking my tour through the antibiotic chain.
But now you've been prescribed
gone
today. You've been prescribed cortisone.
So today, well,
because of your ear.
So here's where we're at now, right? When I had a sinus infection, my friend said you should do a sinus flush, which I've never done. It was the weirdest thing I've ever done in my life, but it was so good. But and you may have seen me talk about this on my stories if you follow me. I got water trapped in my ear and I've had it in there for like 3 weeks. Not ideal. Causes ear infections. Cut to where I'm at now. I'm like deaf in one ear. And it feels
I've been screaming at her for weeks.
It's been kind of peaceful.
Yeah.
But it feels like I'm swimming in a pool. Like there's so much water in there. And so again, went to the doctor today and she gave me like cortisone, antibiotics, bloody whatever's. So I'm hoping that now I've like covered
that next week it's just death.
I'm assuming I'm gonna have like a superpower. I'm waiting for it.
I hope, and I'm fingers crossed for this. It's like Spider-Man powers. For sure. So like
I want to web
jumping,
things.
climbing wall, yes, and Spidey senses.
Yeah.
And it would be great. And if I could get them, I would love it. If you have
well,
to.
No, you have to go through the journey. Like you're
like
that's a boring movie, isn't it? What did you get? All of a sudden, I'm powerful.
I got bronchitis from you.
Yeah, but that's nothing. I've done the journey. I am Peter Parker. All right, you're his friend.
Can I be Marissa Tomei? Can I be Aunt May?
That'd be weird for us.
She's pretty hot.
Anyway, so that's been our recent journey.
And I got bronchitis as well.
Bronchitis. Who remembers that chick? Every time I said I had bronchitis, all I could think of was, ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time.
She was so good.
And so that was the thing. And also like with I mean, my own personal struggles recently was also dealing with Amy. But my voice went a bit weird, and then I was meant to do a voiceover last week, and I sounded like someone had driven over my throat.
Sorry.
And I was like, it's just not going to happen. In fact, I lost my voice pretty much completely, which is
that's usually my thing.
That's usually your thing, yeah. So it's been great. No, it has been good. It's been great. Everyone,
it's been a health journey. I'm on a health journey.
Yeah.
And I'm determined to conquer it now.
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of over it.
We're both gonna do that.
But
feeling of being drunk and hungover day in, day out for like 2 weeks is not fun.
No.
And also the feeling that I got a fairly high temp, like my temperature got up to 41 degrees. And I was like, this is not fun.
No.
Not for a Friday, which it was. Also the Blues lost on the weekend. So
oh, please don't even talk about that.
Even more upsetting.
I go for a team that doesn't like to win. Okay.
Right.
So
they don't play.
Can you guess who it is just by that comment? It's St Kilda. So I don't really want to talk about that.
Can we talk about positive stuff though?
Yes.
Can we talk about all the amazing things we've got booked, like all our gigs and stuff?
We have like this year we've really embraced going and doing things, like seeing cool things. I think because we're coming out of the baby bubble a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. And we're like really embracing just like going to see cool people. And to be honest, we've actually been quite lucky where a lot of the people that we really like have actually come to Melbourne.
I know.
So we started off seeing Gregory Alan Isakov, who, if you don't know his music, you need to go and listen to it.
Gregory Alan Isakov.
Isakov. He is one of the greatest singers that no one knows about. His music is so beautifully magical and peaceful, and he's from Colorado.
Boulder, Colorado.
And he sings about the mountains and the stars and the moon and like the song about like dandelion wine. And he just has this like incredibly beautiful voice. And we saw him, one of the best shows we've ever seen. Ever.
Literally on, I'd say pretty much every day or every second day, wish I was at that gig. It was probably one of the best experiences ever.
It was really cool.
It was so bloody good. It was so intimate. We're at the Forum in Melbourne. It was so intimate.
Really good crowd. Everyone was just like so happy to be there.
And every now and again, he'd just be like, "Oh, I'm just so grateful that you guys are here. And I'm just so happy that
so
I'm here with my best friends playing music. And oh, geez, wow, it's great that you guys came to see the show." And then they play a song.
And when he's not a muso, he owns a farm.
He owns a
he's
farm.
Like a real like earthy dude. He's super cool. So we saw him. We're going to see another really similar style muso called Ben Howard. Again, you should listen to his music if you haven't heard it. That's coming up in a few weeks. And then we like spontaneously booked to go see this. It's like
it's Candlelight Orchestra.
And they're doing Fleetwood Mac.
It's Fleetwood Mac's like
Stevie Nicks, baby.
Yeah.
So
that'll be sick.
That looks really cool. So we're seeing that. And then
at the end of this
year, we are going to see Heilung, who we have seen before. One of the best shows I have ever seen in my entire life. It wasn't even a show. It was an experience because I don't know. We've probably talked about it on here before.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, it was like, a ritual.
Literally a ritual. Like they don't leave the stage. No one's allowed on the stage. They don't talk to you at all. But it's just I can't even give it. You know,
it was so good.
I can't describe it. You have to experience it. And I actually know a few people that follow me are going. So it's going to be like a cool crew of us.
So what Amy means by is like nobody's allowed on the stage is that when we were at Gregory at the Forum as well, one of the staff was saying that whenever Heilung were there, as soon as they get on the stage and they set up their instruments, none of the Forum crew are allowed on the stage. Like nobody's allowed to enter that space because
they
it's
literally
a secret
cast
space.
A circle and do all of that, and they cleanse themselves, and it's just so amazing to watch. And when you like look at the crowd, it was such a mixed bag of like people who were like maybe a bit older, people who are just kind of like us, people who look like maybe they could be a little bit crazy, but they weren't. Everyone was just like, they were able to make this entire crowd full of people quiet as a mouse. And you were like captivated, and then they're dancing around and then they're quiet. And it was so cool.
Phenomenal.
So we're seeing them, but then we're seeing Wardruna,
which is in January next year.
We haven't seen before. I've heard his shows are very similar because they actually tour together as well.
Yeah.
He's like this Norse amazing dude. He does a lot of music like Vikings, Assassin's Creed.
And the Valhalla game. Yeah.
He's like Norse and
I think he's Icelandic. Like Heilung or Icelandic. I think he is as well. But they're Norse pagans.
Yeah. And so he's very spiritual. And again, I think his show is meant to be like a ritual as well. So we're seeing him.
Which is like very exciting.
That'll be very, very cool. So yeah, it's been fun. We're embracing life.
Yeah.
You know? But that's not why we're here.
We're not here for that. Now that we've done a 15 to 30-minute intro.
The reason we're here is because tomorrow is actually or today, or whenever you're listening to this, for us right in this moment, tomorrow is Samhain. Now, obviously, we are in the Southern Hemisphere. So we are going into Samhain. The Northern Hemisphere are going into Beltane. So if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, blessed Beltane to you.
Blessed
Have
Beltane.
all those fairy vibes. But we're not there yet. We are.
But either way, the veil is getting thinner.
Either way, the veil is getting thin. But we will talk about that just a little bit. But Samhain, I was asked over and over again, can you do another Samhain episode? Please, I keep listening to this.
What do you need?
What do you want from us? Fine, we'll do it. Like, yeah, we're going to talk about Samhain. So, from memory, I have no idea what I talked about in that last episode. I'm sure it was amazing.
It was probably one of the best.
It was probably the best episode ever, besides the other ones.
And but all the others.
I'm just going to like riff through it again. I think also because like times changed. I've evolved. I've done more things. Patty's here.
I'm older.
He is here. So we're going to talk about it.
Let's talk about it. It's Samhain tomorrow. Let's talk about it.
Tomorrow.
Get ready with me while we discuss
I feel like
Samhain.
the Samhain season has been in full swing for a few weeks, and we will get into that in just a little bit because
we keep. What if we're going to get into lots of things that we're going to get into?
I'm building suspense. Do you not know how to run these shows? No, I do. I'm building suspense. Anyway, Samhain, traditionally celebrated in the Southern Hemisphere, on the 30th of April, which is tomorrow, or the 1st of May. I feel like it's better on the 30th because Samhain is all about like death, endings. It's the witch's new year. So for me, it kind of like fits better to do it on the last day, where like Beltane, I feel like it fits better on the 1st of November because it's all about like new life, fertility, growth, and all of that. Also, 31st of October is
Halloween. Gives us time to celebrate Halloween.
Vibes-wise, it feels better to do it then. So for me, I prefer to celebrate on the 30th of April. Vibes-wise. But if you feel called to do the 1st or the 2nd or whatever it is, the witch police are not going to get you.
Yeah. That's the best thing.
So Samhain, I would say, is probably one of the most popular Sabbats out of all of them, purely because, especially if we're talking vibes, it's like the witchiest Sabbat. Very Halloween energy, very mysterious, it's a time where witchy magic is like embraced 1,000%.
Like autumny.
It's autumn, it's darker. Like it's very witchy vibes.
Misty.
Unfortunately for us in the Southern Hemisphere, we don't get the like double whammy of Halloween and Samhain where life around you is also celebrating witches. So that is a little bit of a bummer for us. But even so, it's such a beautiful time of the year. And I feel like out of all the Sabbats as well, you can really feel that energy change, you know, because
to be fair, I'm sorry to interrupt. I think that it's good that we get it separate from Halloween because it's not clouded. It's like it sits alone and it sits by itself as Samhain.
Yeah.
As opposed
not everyone's
to
a witch.
Yeah, like, you know, if you have Christmas and Yule at the same time, it's fairly intense, whereas we have Letha, you know, so we have...
I think really the most disappointing part of it is that we don't get to have pumpkin spice lattes at Starbucks.
And that's probably the biggest problem that we're dealing with. I
feel that is a real tragedy for us.
That's a problem.
It's something that I'm going to change. I'm going straight
I'm writing to Mr. Bucks.
Yeah.
Mr. Starbucks.
Mr. Cool name, by the way. That's the first.
Like, and he just like was like, I'm gonna call
Loves
my
mermaids.
coffee shop that.
His little coffee shop.
His quaint, tiny little store. And he says, I'm gonna make some pumpkin spice lattes.
And then he's so cute.
And then Mrs. Bucks was like, Star, why don't you open up a few more 1,000 million stores? And he went,
okay, fine.
Fine. But those people in the Southern Hemisphere around Samhain time,
nothing.
No pumpkin spice for you.
No way. Anyway, so let's talk about Samhain.
Great.
So the big thing about Samhain and the way it's kind of differentiated from all the others is that around this time, the veil is the thinnest it will be. And you'll hear this term over and over again now about the veil. The veil. What is the veil? The veil is basically the line that separates our world or our realm and the realm beyond, which sounds very like we're in Avengers and I'm like, the baddies are coming from the other realm. It's not like that. The other realm is where you'll find ancestors who have passed. All the ghosties are over there. Your guides, deities, spirit, it's like the spirit realm. That's where they reside, which is unfortunately not where we are. We are somewhere else. But during this time, the veil that separates us is at its thinnest point, which means that they are able to cross over a lot more easily. And communication is the strongest it will ever be, which I think is very exciting. It can at times be a little bit creepy because you will start to notice, if you haven't already, a lot more bumps and creaks in the night. Especially if you are very intuitive and like open to communication between other beings, you'll notice that they're coming at you left, right, and center.
The way I kind of see it is like, obviously, if you go, everything's energy. They reside here. We reside here on this energy plane down the bottom, and they reside there. And it's like radio waves that kind of, go up and down. And at this time of year, they kind of almost even up, so that we're on the same energetic plane as they are. We're
to put it in a term you may understand.
Please don't make me laugh.
Oh my God, don't die.
Oh my God, I got bronchitis. We're vibing. We're vibing with the spirits. And so it's like those, like I said, those radio waves, they kind of like are doing that, like a frequency, and then it's kind of like they drop and they're kind of in the same frequency. If you're not watching this, you would have just heard my arms go. But basically, like, we're sort of dropping in to each other's wavelengths.
Yeah.
And so it's like if you're tuning a radio and you get this static, which would usually be static, and then you hear when you hear voice. That's what that is. Like we're almost tuning into each other. That's the way I see it.
And so the Northern Hemisphere, they will also, their veil is thin, but I feel like the energy is different, because if you think about where they are in a seasonal sense, they're in spring. So life is like abundant with flowers and nature and everything's happening. And so they will have a lot more elemental spirits. So like fairies, dryads, mermaids, whatever, the more like nature spirits, where the spirits, we have the ancestors. So we are more the ghosties. We are more loved ones, lost souls, that kind of energy, who you'll probably be more in contact with and notice them coming through. And so, like I said, it can be a little bit freaky, especially if you're new to this and you are becoming more open, and all of a sudden you're like, wow, this is like really intense, because I've given the green like light, and now they're like, hello, I'm here. And it can be very confronting. And it was for us at first. We were just like, wow, there's like people walking back and forth in our window, and it's really creepy. But I feel like when you start to learn about it and set boundaries in place, you kind of like look forward to it every year. And now it's just normal for us. Like we know that usually like mid-April, maybe a little bit earlier, we'll start to get some extra friends around, which we definitely have had. I think this year it's been a lot more intense. I don't know why this year in particular. I don't know if there's like something in the air that our astrology friends will have to tell me about, but I feel like there's been a lot more, which was funny because oh my God, I'm Amy. My soul left my body. So
that was Poppy, by the way.
That was Poppy. Oh my God. Okay. So we have started to have a few things happen in the house. Like I found when I was in that in between awake and asleep state, where that's like your most vulnerable, where they're going to like be like, go, because you're at your most like relaxed point. So you often notice whispers, murmurs, things happen. And I started to hear things. And then we've had like knocks at the front door or the doorbell ringing, and go to get it, there's no one there. And that happened over and over and over again. We've had people tapping us on the shoulder. The other night I had clear as day, someone walking on the like top level and then down the stairs like loudly, and I thought it was one of the kids, and I'm like sitting up going, who is it? And there was nobody there. So lots of
I've had a lot of shadow people, like
lots of shadow people,
creeping into my like side view,
peripheral,
or outside walking past the windows, inside as well. And I kind of like went out and had a word the other night and went, if you're here and you've got malicious intent, you need to leave. If you don't have malicious intent, talk to us through cards or something like that. Like, stop doing that, because like the double doors kept opening, and
they literally, there's like a latch, and we've been locking it because Poet loves to open them up and go and try and jump down the stairs. So we lock it, and that literally unlocks itself and opens up. And so I was like, it's funny because like I feel like it's very Poppy energy, and Poppy is like my dad's dad. And he has passed, but he loves to visit all of us. Like, he takes over everybody's readings with psychics. He's always around because he's like very mischievous in that way. I don't know. He kind of like, he just thrives off a little bit of ghosty chaos.
He was the one that whenever Amy saw the psychic, maybe 7 years ago, he had said, I visit you, and then Amy said, can I have a sign? And he said, I'll leave a left hand print. And we were selling our house at the time, and we'd had a window cleaner over, and so all the windows were obviously spotlessly clean. And I was cooking dinner, and we had like a row of windows across the back of our house at the time, and they all fogged up because I was cooking like pasta, and all the steam fogged them up. And right in the top left-hand corner was a giant left handprint. And I phoned Amy. You will never believe what I've just got on camera. And it was that. So he is present. Always, it seems. And he's always around.
I had said, I'm like, it feels like it's very Poppy energy. And
well, remember tell about the chai tin as well.
Oh yeah, so I was like walking through the kitchen. There was like 2 tins of like chai, and then one literally just like leaps
on the bench, and I went,
like,
"Did you touch that?"
Physical stuff.
And Amy went. Amy was like a meter away from it, and I was like, "Did you just touch that?" And she went, "Nah," but it literally just went and just like sort of spun around on its.
And so I was like, it feels very Poppy, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure his birthday is coming up. And then within 10 minutes, I got a text from my dad, and he said, just letting you know, it's Poppy's birthday today. I'm like, well, there you go.
And then
later that night, so we kind of like, okay, we know it's you now. And then as I was walking past the TV, the kids were watching Lego Masters, and literally as I walked past, they were building cars. And one of the cars had a big sign on it with its name, and the name on it was Fred, and that was his name. So it was just like so many funny things. And we're like, okay, that's fine. If it's you, that's fine. And so when you do start to get over that like fear and overwhelm, stuff like that kind of is enjoyable, because you're like, oh, that's nice. They get to come and visit and cause a bit of mischief, and it's nothing malicious or whatever. It can be a little bit creepy, but you do have the power to be like, okay, that's enough now. You've made your point. But yes, that's the veil. So if you do hear about it, that's what people are talking about, the veil. So the energy, I feel, is a lot more electric. And so Samhain is a celebration of death, because if you look at it again from a seasonal place, nature is dying. It is literally dying. Leaves are falling off the trees. Flowers are dying. We've lost our bees and butterflies. Everything around us is going, and people this is the final harvest. So everything's picked and plucked and being stored for the winter. And now would be the time traditionally when people would slaughter their animals because they need it for survival throughout winter. So death is just a very prominent thing in so many different forms. And again, it is also to celebrate and connect with those who have died. So whichever way you want to look at it, death is really the core of Samhain. So it's not to be feared, it's to be celebrated. Yeah. And you can do that in so many different ways, which again is the fun part of Samhain, is like embracing that death and doing things to celebrate someone who you miss. Maybe you want to call them in, whatever it is. There's so many different elements to it that just celebrates the people that you wish were with you. And so one thing that you can do, which actually has like a really cool backstory, is a soul cake. And a soul cake it actually goes all the way back to the Druids, but in more modern-ish times, not our times, more modern, they would people had this real, and I feel like maybe this is when Christianity started to kind of creep in, but people had this real concern that their loved one's soul would be lost in purgatory. And
purgatory is a Christian.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It must have been more of a Christian influence. And so people were like, we need to do whatever we can to help them in the next world. And so beggars would go from house to house and they would say, we will, send blessings to this person in order to make sure that their soul isn't lost in purgatory. And as repayment, they would make soul cakes and they would give it to the beggars. And that's where soul cakes came from in that area. But again, does go way, way, way back. But now it's more as like a what's the word? An offering. People will make them as an offering. And it's just a really fun, easy way, like activity, especially if you have kids. Kids love anything to do with baking. So soul cakes are a really good way to kind of make something and leave it out if you want to leave it outside or on your altar or whatever as an offering. But then you can do things like a dumb supper, which is where you have a dinner when nobody talks. And
again, if you have kids, probably not
gonna happen.
Not gonna happen.
I wish we could have a dumb supper every night. It's not happening. But you can like simplify and just like at the table have an extra plate with like a white candle, and you can write on a person's name as like an invitation of like, we'd really love you to join us for dinner tonight. If
you have one of their belongings or a photo of them, you can sit them at the table, and it's kind of like this nice, it's, and again, I think, you've said it a couple of times, for those of you who like are new to this, like, it's not like you're going to look up and there's going to be 4 ghosts sitting at the table, but like, it's more the energy of them and knowing that they're with you is just nice. And obviously you're only going to invite, it's not like you're going to be like, here's a strand of Adolf Hitler's hair, I'm going to put it at the dinner table tonight.
Why do you have
that? How did you get that? Like I've brought out my grandfather's watch and my granny's brooch and stuff like that. You go, well, they were attached to this, so if they're going to be here tonight, that's nice.
Maybe a dog collar.
Yeah, we've done that as well. Yeah, so stuff like that is nice, because it's not like you're going to look up and just see all these people sitting at your table or going, where's my seat? No, it's more just like knowing that their energy is with you at that time as well.
And even if that feels a little bit overwhelming and you want that boundary in place of like, no one in my house, you can leave a white candle at your front door. And that is kind of like a nice, like, hello, you can come here, but please don't come inside. Yeah. Which I guess ties in with my next point, is that one of the most important things for this time, in order to embrace it in a safe way, is making sure you have done your protection magic for yourself and your home, because there are lots of like kind lost souls, but there are also some who are not so nice, and they're the ones that have that kind of more yucky energy that is a bit scarier and makes you feel unsafe in your own home, which you don't want.
Adolf Hitler.
I'm sure his energy would be
don't bring his hair to the table.
So, doing things like a really big house cleanse to make sure if there is anybody already in there that they're kind of like given the boot. That's important. And then blocking like the thresholds of your home, front door, back door, windows with things like black salt. Burning herbs that raise the frequency because negative energy can't sit with positive. So if you've cleansed and then raised the energy up, they can't come back in. It's just not possible for them to do that. And you've blocked the doors with black salt.
Hey everyone, I'm just going to pause today's episode for a moment. I hope you're enjoying it. It sounds super interesting. If you're enjoying this podcast and you're thinking, hey, how could I support this show? Then the best way to do that is to jump over to Patreon and become one of my patrons, where you'll get access to additional content, videos, bonus episodes of Ritual with Amy Harvey, that is me, learning tools to help you on your witchy path, and special discounts to my online store, rosethorncottage.com. Take it away, voiceover guy.
That's right. Simply head to patreon.com/Rosethorn Cottage to get all the goodies and support your favourite podcast in the entire world, Ritual with Amy Harvey. Now, back to the show.
So like cleanse with sage, raise with Palo Santo.
Yeah, or like citrus things. You can have like really high vibe crystals at your door as well, like citrine or pyrite or something like that. Anything that just raises the energy.
Does juniper raise or cleanse?
I feel like that one does both. That's why it's one of my faves.
Okay. There you go.
But then also, if you want to go deeper, you can do like protective sigils on the door and call in your guides, because your connection with them is going to be very strong now. And so you can use them almost like a bouncer at the door. Like, I need you to protect the home. These people can come in, but the rest cannot. So someone like Hecate would be great, because she's at the crossroads of our realm and the next. That's what she does. So she has control over lost souls, and you don't want to fuck with her. So if you say to her, like, I'm happy for this person and this person to come in, but no one else, she's going to make sure she's like the scariest bouncer in the world. So connecting with people and energies like that is good, because again, that's like another way of embracing Samhain, and it's like very, very simple, but it's fun, and it also does something productive at the same time.
Yeah.
Did you have anything to add?
No, I think you're doing great.
Oh, thank you. So that would be, if I was going to say you should do some magic at this time, definitely protective magic.
Yes.
But also diving into divination. So things like your oracle cards, tarot, pendulums.
If you have like a sphere.
Yeah.
Like a crystal sphere.
Yeah. So like, what's the word? I've totally blanked. Scrying.
Scrying, yeah.
Is really
good. You can do fire, scrying.
Just like deep meditation where you do journal work with it.
We'll do cards.
Yeah, we always do cards. And I just feel like you get such cool messages that are often extremely honest. So it's not necessarily things that you want to hear, but things that you need to hear, because you're getting like, and ancestors and guides who are like, I'm going to quickly tell you what you need to know. I don't have much time. So the messages are so clear that it's kind of a waste not to do that magic, I feel.
Yeah. And like things like scrying and tea leaves and whatnot are great. But you really need to have a lot of trust in your own intuition, because you want to take away the best possible messages.
Yeah.
That's why I love cards, because if you put enough of your energy into the deck and then you ask the appropriate question, the answer and the response you get is usually fairly direct. But if you're like leaving it up to interpretation, like, oh, I think that like a flame looked like X, or I think
you read
that
into it too
tea
much.
leaf thing looks like that. Unless I would probably say the things like tachygraphy, and which is reading tea leaves and scrying in flames or a ball, I'd say that's more advanced.
Yeah.
Because
you have to have the confidence with what
you need to
seen.
trust your intuition so much. Because if you feel like it's a negative, you're gonna be hung up on it.
Well, if you go,
right?
That looks like a dog. That reminds me of our old dog. And then you go, that's stupid. Yeah, I shouldn't do that. I'm just making that up.
Or you go, oh my God, is that a knife? Oh my God, am I going to get stabbed? Like,
where when you have confidence, you go, that looks like a dog.
Yeah, but if you've got a good deck or a good couple of decks and you ask fairly direct questions, you can get a fairly direct response.
Yeah.
So I love cards and a bit of meditation. If you're bad at meditation, times like this are really good.
Yeah, because it's easier.
Because you're open and because there's so much energy floating around, you're bound to get something. And I've had, small successes with it. Amy's had incredible stuff with her meditation, but
you can also do things like, and we've done this before, where you can burn certain herbs like mugwort or wormwood. If you are pregnant, do not do this, but they are very good at opening your mind. I think if you take too much of it, it causes hallucinations.
Don't drink the tea.
We made a tea of both.
Ridiculous.
And it was the most disgusting thing I've ever had in my life.
It was horrid.
Burn
it.
Again, if you're pregnant, please don't do that.
No.
But yes, I feel like if you didn't do some kind of divination, you would be letting this a beautiful energy go.
Yeah, you're not, like, if you want to celebrate Samhain, that's the one thing you can do to celebrate as well.
Yeah, because you can really simplify it how you do it, even if you just sit and close your eyes and just feel, but do something.
Like, don't feel the need to like do the soul cakes and the pumpkin soup, and like if time is short or budget is constricted, like, don't feel the need to do all the stuff.
No. Like, listening is free, and I feel like if you look at all the activities, it all really comes down to listening. Like, even a dumb supper, no one is talking. It's purely to feel and listen.
And just the simple acknowledgement of it is enough as well, where that'll just open you up to any possibility of seeing or feeling or hearing.
Yeah.
And if you're open to it, that in itself, is, for want of a better word, like celebrating Samhain.
Totally.
And being a part of it is the acknowledgement of it, and just the knowledge that they are there and you are here, and if they want to communicate, they can, because you're open to it.
Yeah.
And as you said, listening's free. Like, it's
listening is
just
free.
Enough to just sit there and just be. If you don't have cards, that's fine. Just sit and listen and try and interpret thoughts, feelings, or messages.
And accept everything. Don't like go, oh, that's just me.
Yeah, don't poo-poo anything.
Because they have to talk to you somehow, and it's going to come out sounding like your voice. So just accept it and take it.
And the more you accept, the more you'll get. Like, the more you are open and the more you are willing to accept what you're hearing or feeling, you might get more.
And just say to yourself, like, for Samhain, nothing is a coincidence. Everything is something. So, like, little symbols.
Well, we could have done that with that chai tin the other day. We could have been like, oh, that was probably, but like, it literally just on the spot by itself. I was reading Poet a story the other night, and I felt someone peering through the door frame and back again, and over the door frame and back again, and then I get a chill down my back. Now, you could go, oh, well, that's just the frame of your glasses. I'm like, yeah, it could have been,
but it feels different.
But it felt very different than the frame of my glasses, and I don't get that every day. I don't get that as if I'm walking down the street. I don't think there's somebody right here. And the frames of these glasses aren't that thick. So if I feel like somebody's peering in and peering out, there might be. The more you're open, the more you'll get. And I think that sometimes people want it, but they're afraid to receive it. But as Amy said, like, at the start, we were a bit nervous with stuff that was happening to us, but now you're just kind of like, hey, mate, you know what?
It's
you
that
can
time
back
again.
off.
Yeah.
And you're allowed, but you can back off.
Yeah.
Don't come near my family.
Ours have like a designated place. Like you can go outside next to our house, but you can't come in our house.
Don't come in. You're not welcome.
So now we just get like the shadow people that walk past the windows, and around this time we go, they're here, and then they go, and that's it. So it's really just like learning that they do respect your boundaries, and sometimes you have to do a little bit more to reinforce that, but it's all just part of this time.
Yeah.
So what are we gonna do to celebrate?
Well, we have discussed pumpkin soup.
Yes, we're gonna do
pumpkin pie
soup.
Pumpkin soup.
We could do pumpkin pie, maybe. I actually haven't thought of dessert for once. I was more consumed with the soup.
We could do soul cakes. I did them once.
Yeah, we should.
With the currants.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, with the kids.
And cards.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a big house cleanse tomorrow and do all the black salt, because we've been getting so much that now I'm like, okay, you're like getting a bit too comfortable. And like Poppy's come and he's gone. So now anyone else, I'm like, who are you?
Yeah.
So I'm going to be doing a big thing.
Well, there's other people that have
No,
passed.
I know, but they haven't like made that known yet. So it's not that they're not welcome, because like I said before, there are certain people who can come in. But if there's anybody else, they need to go now.
Like Raj.
The random people I don't know. Love you. You're great.
I don't know you.
But you need to go. So I'll be doing that tomorrow. But then, yeah, we'll probably do cards. And I'd like to do a meditation, I think.
I think just acknowledging that it's there and being open is a beautiful thing. I'll be working at home tomorrow, and so will you. So yeah, we'll be there for that.
Yeah. Anything else is just a bonus.
Yeah. So good luck on your journey. If you've taken anything from this,
go us.
You're welcome. And go us. Amy, hope you get better.
I feel like I am going to be soon.
Well, either way, it's been a pleasure meeting you, and I'm just so glad that we could do this together. You have beautiful kids, by the way.
They're scary, that's for sure. That actually scared the shit out of me.
I knew she was there.
Did you?
I saw her. Yeah. But yeah.
Happy Samhain,
blessed
everyone.
Samhain, and
I hope you have
enjoy.
A beautiful day.
Yeah, and night.
Blessed Beltane.
For those in the north.
I love Beltane. That's a fun time movie. Yeah.
It's Samhain though.
It is Samhain. You're right.
Blessed Samhain, everyone. Hope you enjoyed.
We'll see you soon. We've got things to talk about now.
Yeah, we got stuff.
We've got conspiracies. We've got magical places. We've got other people who
Sacred
aren't Patty.
Spaces. What?
I talk to other people.
Me too.
But thanks for listening, guys.
Thanks so much, everyone.
Bye.
Toodaloo.